Hi! Welcome to the Ballard Institute. Oh, wait! Hey! You're not at the Ballard Institute! You're at home! And so am I. We all are. Which is why the Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry is going to be doing some awesome puppet making workshops over the next few weeks. Wednesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. My name is Felicia. I am the graduate assistant at the Ballard Institute and a year 2 grad puppet student at the University of Connecticut, which is really exciting. So we're just about to get started. All you need for this workshop is a pair of scissors. Maybe you have safety scissors, that's fine. Some paper. I'm using an old magazine. But you could use regular paper too, or printer paper, or old sticky notes. Any paper that you have available that is okay to use with the people, with maybe a guardian or something, is okay. So I'd like to start with all of us just doing maybe like a nice big stretch together. Maybe you've been home, kind of sitting around, so roll your wrists out, roll your neck around. Oh, maybe look out the window, give a little shake. And before I started graduate school at the University of Connecticut, I used to teach art classes, and this is the way that I really like to start art classes, is to take 3 deep breaths together. And so you take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and then let it go. So let's start. Ready? In. Last one. Oh, that feels so nice. I think it's just really nice to be in a good creative space when we're working together. So, does everyone have their paper ready? Yeah? Okay. So the first one is, I want to talk about I'm going to call a hamburger fold is when we fold something this way. And a hot dog fold is when we fold something this way. So up and down vertical is a hot dog fold. Side to side, more horizontal, is a hamburger fold. And we're going to start by folding this piece of paper in 3 hot dog style. And, well, I think I'm going to angle the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to fold it like this. Okay. Nice and slow, we're not in a hurry. And then fold that one on top. Nice. And I'm going to get another piece of paper to show you another method in case folding in 3s is hard for you. If folding in 3s is a little bit tricky for you, what you can do instead is roll the paper and see inside how it's kind of even. And if you roll the paper and then press it down, that gives you a good enough, close enough approximation to 3 that you can still follow along with the activity. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second just to make sure everybody's on the same page. If you have any questions or anything you might like to add, you can just put them in the comments and I will hopefully see them. This is our first time, so thank you for joining us today. Very excited to be here. But our next step, once you're ready, and feel free to pause the video, take your time, or back it up. I think you can do that after the fact. And you're going to fold your paper that's in 3 with the seam on the top, so the loose edge on the top, and you're going to fold it in half hot dog style. I'm going to get some of this stuff out of the way so it's easier to see. So just fold it in half hot dog style. Okay? And you can do it with the one that is like I said, less even as well. Okay? So now that we've got that, that's like a pretty good puppet, right? It can say some things, it can look around, but I think we can add another level of expression. If you're fine here and you want to start decorating, that's okay. but I think we can add another level of expression if we do a couple more folds. So what I'm gonna do is take just the top flap, just this part, and I'm gonna fold it back to that fold. Oh, hi everybody. Okay, so it looks like this. Is that clear? This goes like this. I'm gonna do it again on the other one, just in case we need to see it again. So if you're just joining us, we've got one paper folded in 3, hot dog style, and then fold it in half hamburger style. And then you'll fold the top flap back, hamburger style. And like I said, if this isn't clear, please let me know. I would love to hear it. Then you're gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, great. And I'm gonna do it again just in case. So I'm gonna fold this, flip this over, and fold it over here. Okay, now I'm gonna open this up, kind of squeeze it, and if you squeeze it, there should be 2 kind of openings. And what you can do is put your thumb in the bottom one, and the rest of your fingers in the top one, and you have a pretty awesome puppet, I think. And it can go, oh my gosh! And now we can use the stuff that we've already got, our paper, our markers, our scissors, to decorate it. And if you've got like a hot glue gun and some googly eyes, I have some like wooden discs that I think would make pretty good eyeballs that I'm gonna try to use. But whatever you have is fine. And let me think. So let's start with the eyes. A good way to make eyes, if you want to cut them in circles, is to fold a piece of paper in half and use your scissors to kind of cut a half of a circle, like this. And then you have a pretty good eyeball, I think, when you unfold it. So I'll do that twice. And then we wanted to keep this pretty low tech because we know people are stuck at home pretty unexpectedly, and maybe you don't have access to all your favoriteest craft supplies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use Scotch tape, not even hot glue, just Scotch tape right now. Like I said, feel free to get super fancy. And if you make something awesome, it would be so cool if you could show us. We would love to see any pictures or videos or puppet shows that you're making. What I'm doing, and I hope you can see this, is I'm gonna take the bottom half of the eyeball and I'm gonna tape it right on to the back of our puppet, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna do the second one too. And if you saw our preview yesterday, one of the eyeballs fell clean off. So I'm gonna tape this one extra tape. Like that. Okay, that's given it a little more life, I think. Needs some pupils. Let me see, I've got a marker. And hopefully you also have some crayons or colored pencils or something special and colorful that you can make a mark with. But a pencil or a pen works just fine too. I'm gonna use maybe this black marker to make some pupils. And some puppeteers like to start with the eyeballs, and so that they have more of like a relationship with their puppet. But I also know a lot of puppeteers who don't like to put the eyeballs on until the very end so that they know that the focus is just spot on. It's all up to you, right? Making puppets is a very personal thing, and you can do it however makes you feel good. This is just for you. So that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty decent puppet, right? They're kind of looking around. They're maybe, thinking about, what should I add? And one thing that I really love to add when I'm making this specific kind of puppet is a like springy tongue and maybe some arms. So I'm gonna start with the tongue. And I'm using yesterday's to-do list in order to do so, just to show that you can make puppets out of just about anything. And I'm cutting maybe a 1-inch strip. but it can be as wide or as thin as you like. And to make the accordion fold, again, let me clear this out. I fold it one way to the left for me, and then back on top of itself to the right. Does that make sense? So I'm flipping it over and folding it over, and I'm flipping it over and I'm folding it over. Okay. Now it already has some sticky stuff left because it's a Post-it note, but I'm gonna use a little bit more of my Scotch tape. I'm gonna tape it right in the middle here. So that's really exciting because now when he opens his mouth, it's a little bit of a surprise or a trick, right? I really like that. But you can also add, like I said, things like arms and legs. Maybe you want to cut a strip of paper to be its legs. You could add shoes. Be really creative, you know? And anytime that you're attaching something to paper, it's nice to just make a fold, right? Here we made a fold so that the tape and the object that we're asking to affix to the puppet has a flat surface to share with the puppet. I hope that makes sense. Here too, I just taped it to with a flat tab to the puppet. But another version that you might want, if you want to glue something just directly to the puppet, is you can take a little piece of tape and make it and roll it into a circle with the sticky side out. You probably already know this trick, all of our pro crafters out there. But in case you don't, this is a nice way of making kind of impromptu double sticky tape. And I don't know, maybe he's a frog or a chicken. Maybe a chicken. I know we've got some chicken fans out there. And his knees bend backwards. That's one way to do it. Okay, so I'm taping that on there. And now I've got kind of a fully, you know, this is a little bit more of a fully realized creature than just our puppet over here. And I started the exact same way, but now this guy has, I think they've got a little more personality, a little more stuff to say. I don't know, what do you think his voice might sound like? I think his voice might sound like, hi everybody, we're so glad you joined us on the Ballard Facebook website today. Woohoo! So there's a lot of things that you can do. Maybe you add lips on the front, or like I said, arms off the side, or a hat, or a crown. There's a million things that you can do. The next activity that I have, and like I said, you can stay on this activity, you can keep up with our pace, you can pause it, whatever. Use it the way that you want to use it. But I'm gonna get one more big piece of newspaper, or actually magazine. This is an old stock image magazine from before you could see them all on the internet. I think I've just been holding on to it for a while. Maybe you have something at home that you've been holding on to for a while for no reason. Now is the perfect time to turn that thing into a puppet. But magazines are nice because they're colorful, but you might also use something like an old, like maybe some printer paper that you don't need anymore, or even newspaper I think would be fine. But this one you can get fancy with, but you can also stay really simple, which is why I like it so much. And again, we talked about how horizontal is hamburger style, and vertical is hot dog style. Colloquially, I don't know how that came to be. If you have any information about that, I would love to hear it. But for this one, what we're gonna do is just fold it in half, take a piece of paper, and fold it in half, hot dog style. Now what you'll do is cut a shape that you think would be a good mouth shape. Maybe a big kind of oval. Or maybe your guy is angry. That's okay too. And now we've got a mask. That's a pretty simple mask, right? Or maybe it's, I just look out of here. I think that could be pretty fun. But I think I want to add a little bit more. So I'm going to do like a nose and maybe some eyes. In order to do a nose, I'm going to cut kind of like a L shape, right? So I have a horizontal line, and then I make a turn, and I have a vertical line. And that can be square, round, it can curve, anything. Like I said, this is all about making this the way that you want to make your puppet. Okay, so now I have a mouth and a nose. I like to make my nose poke out a little bit. This is getting into a little bit of the paper sculpture technique that we learn in class at the University of Connecticut, Puppet Arts, really popularized in America by Bart Rockerburton, but it's known and associated with Albrecht Roser from Germany. So okay, we've got a pretty decent mask. I kind of like that, right? But I think I want to add eyeballs so I can see out of my mask. And what I'm going to do for that is I have my hot dog fold that I already made. And I'm going to make another hot dog fold so that, oh yeah, you can see it. And then right along here, along the top of my mask, wherever I want my eyes to be, I'm going to make more holes. Maybe this time it'll be a little bit more of like a triangle. It's kind of like making a jack-o'-lantern. Okay, so now I unfold my mask. Hey, that's not a bad mask, right? And you can get really, really creative with this. Like, I'll make another one that has a totally different vibe, right? This one is a little bit like, ah, and I'm gonna make one that's a little bit like, because I know some days when you're cooped up inside, it's easy to get a case of the grumpies. Actually, I think I'm gonna use white paper so you can see this one a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again, but with white paper. I'm gonna fold it in half, hot dog style. Love a crisp, clean fold, you know? And then I'm gonna cut the mouth. And like, what did I say the face was? A little bit like, yeah, like a really grumpy face. You can make a grumpy face if you want right now. I would love to see your grumpy face. Because we all, maybe, you gotta feel what you're feeling, you know? But in order to make a grumpier face, I'm gonna make the corners of the mouth turn down a little bit more. Right? Ooh, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think I nailed it. Right, now I'm gonna make like a big kind of curvy nose. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, it's kind of a mushroom nose, I like that. And I kind of want to bend it out so you can make a little fold here where you fold it up and then give yourself about like a 1/4 inch and then fold down. That just makes it stick out a little bit more, which I think is nice if you're wanting to make that. And then, let me see how to, okay, yeah. So, like I said, to make the eyes, you fold it in half again, hot dog style, baby. And let me see, I think I'm gonna make those a little bit like mad eyes too. Okay, so unfold the whole thing. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, I think it looks just like me with my grumpy face. But yeah, you can use this, both these versions that I just showed you to make pretty much any expression or any character, maybe a frog, an elephant. I would love to see what kind of animals and different creatures that you're making. If you would like to share them with us, maybe in the comments or on our Facebook page, that would be super awesome, and we would love to see them. I think there's just a lot of new ways to connect in this era, and we at the Ballard are really excited about connecting and bringing this to our communities, wherever they might be, in Connecticut or outside of Connecticut. So I wonder how they might interact. Oh, hello. Oh. Don't you want to be my friend? Oh, that grumpy old guy. I know inside he's really nice. You know, like, you can make up all kinds of different stories if you want. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself, but you make all kinds of different stories, all kinds of different characters and creatures. Like I said, anything you have around your house. Maybe you've got egg cartons could make really good eyeballs for something like this. But we would love to see anything that you're making or sharing. You can join us again. We're hoping to have workshops for the next few weeks on Wednesdays and on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next one is going to be a real treat for all you puppet historians out there. Dr. John Bell is going to share with us a self-described fun toy theater workshop, and I do believe that it will be incredibly fun. All you need is a cardboard box. Any size is fine. I think you need some paper, maybe some sort of little sticky note, rods or sticks, things like that. But you can make up a toy theater, a little self-contained theater out of a cardboard box with anything you have lying around the house. And John is kind of an expert on puppet theater, on toy theater, so he's going to show you a lot of cool things. We might even sing a song together. Great. I think, let me check my notes to make sure that I said everything that I want to say. Oh, it would be awesome if you could let us know if there's any sort of puppet workshops or questions that you have that you would like us to see. We would be super happy to hear about those. Without being able to be in a physical space in a museum, we're all trying new ways of still being together. So I'm excited to explore those frontiers and territories with you. Great. I think that's all that I have for today, but let us know what you'd like to see. Let us know what you've made, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your time today. Let's end the way that we started. Do some stretching. I'm gonna stand up. Stretch all the way to the left and all the way to the right. Oh man. Stretch your art-making fingers, your puppeteer muscles. Give yourselves a little shake. I'm gonna do 3 deep breaths again. Ready? Okay. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next time.